It's a symbol of Polish tolerance because really Poland is one of the most Catholic countries in Europe, and for modern Poland was quite natural to vote for atheist as a president, and twice. In Polish democracy, I'm a very unique example of a re-elected president. And of course, in my politics earlier, before my presidency and during presidential time, I tried to create the best relationship between the state and the Catholic Church, especially in very unique conditions of Polish Pope in Vatican. But I think my role and my concept how to deal these questions of state and the church were accepted by majority of Poles.
Yes, I can say in the most of these matters, issues, we share the same point of view. Because we are in the same region, and in general, in this big politics, I can say we have also the same problems. So when I look at our situation, when I analyze our history, I can say this is very important year for us, this 2018. Why? Because this year we celebrate 100th anniversary of regaining our independence. That was in 1918.
Could you explain the history of Europe without Christianity, without the religion?
For better or for worse?
For better or the worse. If we want to be serious and we want to discuss all these problems realistically, it's necessary to say, yes, that is one of the crucial elements of our heritage, of our tradition, of our understanding of life. But the question of the history, this is something what we have to respect. And I respect the history of Europe. And the history of Europe is connected with Christianity, with Jewish traditions.
One of the absolutely most important is of course security, and in Central Europe we have a special format cooperation into NATO. We have meetings. We call it Bucharest 9. 9 countries from Central Europe has meetings and discuss about the security, about defense, annually before the NATO summit, and we discussed about our problem. We discussed our situation in the matter of security, in the matter of defense, and we try to reach a common standing for the upcoming NATO summit.
I think one of very important duties of Polish politicians and Polish presidents is to create this best relationship with Jewish community and with Israel, with the state of Israel, because of our history, a very long common history with Jewish community. We can speak about 1,000 years of common life on same soil. We can speak about brightest chapters in our common history, when we can speak also about such dramas as Holocaust, organized by Nazis, by Hitler's soldiers and officials on Polish soil, on Polish territory. So I think because this history is so complex and is so connected, one of the main tasks, not only for me personally, but for Polish politicians, should be this very, very important sensitivity in these questions and real work. What is the mainstream today in Poland, in Polish democratic time, that we discuss all this issue. We know much better the tradition. We have the places of Jewish religion. We open even some synagogues in Poland. We have a cultural festival in Krakow, very famous. And what I think would be one of the most important decisions and symbols of this new era. Next 2 years, we will open the Museum of Jewish History in Poland, in Warsaw, in the center of the city.
So I took part in this before the NATO summit in Warsaw, and that was really very productive. And now I can say I'm sure that this Bucharest 9 is very, very good and very, very needed initiative. And what else? Second is cooperation which is going to accelerate development of our countries, and this is this is the main topic and the main task of the format we call 3C initiative.
First of all, it's necessary to say that the problem of anti-Semitism exists, not only in Poland, but in many places of the world. And that is one of our tasks of public people, of politicians, to fight against anti-Semitism, because anti-Semitism is one of the forms of racism, and that is terrible, and especially in the context of Holocaust, in the context of the history of Second World War. And even if these Jewish communities, what you said, they have some doubts, especially concerns conservative wing in Polish church. It is necessary to say that the great ideas of John Paul II, the Polish Pope, in this reconciliation with Jewish community, that is important and is still in our memory.
We discussed about the development of our countries, but especially development of on infrastructure and communication, because we have the situation that we are very good, most of our countries have very good connections with the Western Europe and Eastern Europe, but we haven't good connection between us on the axis north-south. So we have to work on that matter. And this is the main target of 3C initiative. We discussed about the developing of the roads, yes, motorways and express roads. We discussed about the developing of railways. We discussed about developing of gas connections.
First of all, it's necessary to say how it happened. It was a decision of a Nazi state, of German state, ruled by Hitler. They organized this action on Polish territory because Poland was a place of the biggest Jewish community in Europe those times. But if you see the Auschwitz concentration camp, or if you see some death camps on Polish territory, you see that the Jews were transported from many countries in Europe, from France, Holland, Belgium, Hungary, and so on. And then it's absolutely mistake to say that Poland was involved, and Polish authority or Polish people, they were involved in this question of Holocaust. We were chosen as a technically, logistically the best place to organize this crime. But of course, this situation, especially German occupation in Poland, and this feeling of fears, they created some dramatic alternatives for many people. But if you see Jerusalem, if you see Yad Vashem, and you see the trees, righteous among the people, and you see how thousands of trees are planted because of Polish support, of Polish help during the Second World War, you can understand that this problem was extremely complex, but it was not a Polish problem. It was organized by Nazis, and that is necessary to underline.
In a direction of acceleration our development, and in the result to fulfill the policy of cohesion in European Union, because it's not a secret that our countries were behind the Iron Curtain, yes, and we still try to reach the same level of development and the same level of living in our countries as it is in Western Europe. And that's why we cooperate.
Будет такой день, когда Россия, говорю точно, Россия тоже будет в НАТО. Смотреть в глаза женщинам абсолютно надо. Осторожным быть, конечно, тоже надо быть. Но это вопрос в том, что время идет быстрее, чем мы думаем. Теперь скажу по-французски savoir vivre. Значит, как это возможно? Ну, ничего. Да-да, я вам скажу, как я заботился, да? Я как?